Hey everybody, I'm Andy Snorkelovers, and I got some very good news, basically from something I got called Change here, change.org. Now, everybody hates Teen Titans Go, am I right? Well, the original Teen Titans Season 6 is now on change.org, and you can already try to share this on Twitter, and you can share this on any other thing they'll show whatever you got, of course. And let's see. So yeah, Teen Titans Season 6 on Adult Swim. Who would agree? I would. So be sure you go to change.org, and then you can, if you want, I'll put the link down in the description below. So yeah, don't forget to go to change.org and yeah, become part of the have signed place, of course. So sign in to this if you want Teen Titans on Adult Swim. And let's hope Teen Titans on Adult Swim in the future becomes a possibility, as long as Adult Swim will accept it, because there's something they call accepting and stuff like that. I mean, we can already imagine seeing this on Adult Swim, of course. And clearly, if you think about it, Adult Swim will give this more freedoms, basically when it comes to their creators, like giving this more freedoms to actually do some swearing, more adult feel into it, and they can make this even more darker than they can before. So be sure you go to change.org and become part of this to basically letting it go to 50,000, whatever you call this, of course, signatures. Yeah, 50,000 signatures. So help out putting up 50,000 signatures to make this become a possibility. Please do. And above all that, I want to show you, now you were wondering about how Adult Swim is doing. Well, here in the future, June 28th, I think that's today, I think, if I can, June 29th, okay? It says June 29th, okay. June 29th, as we may know, still 58% or 75% Fox shows yet again, with 22% Adult Swim shows, and 1% CN show, known as this so far. This is part of Cartoon Network as well, basically Toonami, a couple of other Toonami shows as well. Let's just hope we get more CN shows, however, in the future, because all we have right now, once again, is Samurai Jack. And Teen Titans can be a chance to be part of this, or it can be more likely 2% CN shows. Or either that, more than 2%. You may never know. And let's all best hope we get more CN shows. Basically, because if Adult Swim can think about it, they can make this even more darker and make the show even more serious than it ever is by the trust of their creators. And just think about it. They can make it dark, they can make it more serious, they can put some adult humor into it, and so a bit of disgustment and a bit of scary, most of it, like Samurai Jack shows a bit of scary into it, and yes, you can give them freedom to swear, even if it means the least of times. Even if it doesn't have to be so much least like Samurai Jack. Like, oh yeah, remember that one scene where Scaramouche just says, "Wow, what a freak, he looks like a talking penis." I mean, basically they say that's a dirty joke. Well, that is a dirty joke, I will say that, because his head, more like, okay, this one dude's head after when he says about a talking penis, this one dude did say, okay, you know that one dude where he did say about doing this to him, and then Scaramouche will do anything to repay him. Well, to my personal opinion, he looks more like a talking pair of balls, if you ask me. So yeah, let's just get 50,000 signatures, so that way we can make Teen Titans first and of a chance along with Galactic Kids Next Door. I mean, if you look at my previous video, I did Stop the Galactic Kids Next Door, Adult Swim, premiere, fan animated, of course, because I wish for it to come to Adult Swim. Do any of you wish to? Because we can have two more basically become part of Adult Swim, if you think about it. But giving them a more darker story, putting in a more dark-hearted like, for example, if you know the Galactic Kids Next Door, I mean, yeah, they will be also shown in HBO Max along with it, with their Adult Swim logo shown truly as well, because we would love to see that in the future, if you think about it. And if you think about it, and I'm also asked to, and I will tell Adult Swim this, if they think about it, like for Johnny Bravo for one, Cartoon Network cannot come near this extremely sexist show that objectifies women so much. But in the future, they are a tiny bit, if I'm not mistaken, but not as much as far as I know. But if you think about it, you might allow more often of the extremely sexist jokes you can think of for Johnny Bravo, if you think about it, putting them on Adult Swim. Because if you think about it, it is a pretty extremely sexist show. Like, how about this? Like this one person told me, what if Johnny Bravo went to an online dating app, but he accidentally downloads the wrong one and gets like a cross-dressing app where it comes to different kinds of hijinks where he thinks he might be meeting this very attractive woman, but it's actually a guy, and cross-dressing, if you think about it. And yet again, pretty edgy. Some people can get offended by that, and I'm pretty sure if it done well, along with this one other person that believe it does, if you don't go too overboard of the sexist jokes, of course, but just make it done well, of course. And some people can get offended by that, even though that is the joke. But as long as you're not offended by it, I'm pretty sure you won't mind it, of course, because clearly, I know you Adult Swim. You're always about the weird, bizarre, and even the race, well, I wouldn't say so much of that other thing, but maybe sexist. If you are into the sexist stuff, then Johnny Bravo can be the best thing for you. Because think about it. You can give it more freedom to do swearing. You can give it more freedoms to be a lot more sexist than it ever is before. And you can also make it more offensive than, well, not too offensive, but more of a chance, well, I mean, just plain offensive would just be nice, don't you think? Because if you watch the Johnny Bravo shows long enough, you'll know why it deserves to have an Adult Swim revival. Please, we're asking you, please give it an Adult Swim revival. Because if you think about it, you can make it even more sexist than it is before. Or either that, just make like a more adult-like sexist, if you think about it, of course. I mean, this one dude can think up of a million ways to make Johnny Bravo become more in trouble with the ladies if he's more off his leash. Just think about it, Adult Swim. That's all I'm asking. Think about it. You can give it those kind of freedoms along with, well, I wouldn't say along with, but you can give, once again, Teen Titans more freedoms to be aired on Adult Swim with a more darker story, with swearing, even if you have to show some dirty jokes into it, but a bunch more dirty jokes, or just a little or most of dirty jokes, whatever you can think of, Adult Swim, please, we're asking you, just do that for Teen Titans if you could at least do. Because if you think about it, you can give it more freedoms, like dirty jokes and disgusting humor a bit into it, if you think about it, along with some swearing with a more adult feel into it, because that's how creative you can think about it. How you can think about it, Adult Swim. Just think about it. Just do think about it. And I would love for the Powerpuff Girls to come to Adult Swim, maybe on Toonami Adult Swim. Same thing for Teen Titans, because if you think about it, bringing back the Powerpuff Girls that used to be aired on Toonami as well, you can make it called Powerpuff Girls Origins to put more freedoms into it. Like, if you, okay, just at least more freedoms to actually swear. More likely Buttercup, she'll be swearing most of the time because they're going to be in their teenager years, around 15 years old. Like, you can put them in a Mega Man kind of form, except you can just not you do okay, give them no nose, because once again they're just cute without the nose. Because the main thing about this kind of way of putting it on Adult Swim, if you think about it, you can make them just cute and sexy at the same time, and yet, like Craig McCracken says, but this time how I'm going to put it, even though they may look cute and sexy, but yet again, they still fight crime and go offensive to enemies, because yet again, they're just so innocent, sexy, and harmless. Like, that's the main goal. You can put that, of course. You can make it even more violent, put more realistic punches into it, of course. And you can put it, well, in a cartoony way, once again. And you can make the kicks feel more realistic, and you can put more blood action on against the enemies. And him would get so humbled. Why not do a crossover where after enslaying Townsville, like I explained on the last video link I will put down in the description down below, and you can basically make Samurai Jack give the Powerpuff Girls training to become a samurai just like him in most formal ways, on what the creator of Samurai Jack, if he's still around, along with Craig McCracken, if he's still around, to basically put in those kind of freedoms on Adult Swim. If you think about it, please do think about that, Adult Swim, please. We all beg of you, and most likely some people like me as well. So please accept this possibility, because I did give you tips about Teen Titans and Galactic Kids Next Door and the Powerpuff Girls with Johnny Bravo. I mean, I gave you all those 3 tips why you should put them on Adult Swim, because if you think about it and think creatively, you can make them even more adult. You can put more freedoms into it, adult freedoms, of course, with violence, with a bit of gore or more gore depending on the show, or a way, like for Johnny Bravo's sexist way, I'm putting it in a more off-leash sexist kind of way, of course. Like, come on, think of a billion ways, or a million, or maybe 1,000 ways you can think of putting Johnny Bravo on Adult Swim if he's more off his leash. Just watch the shows long enough and you'll see about it. Why you should make Johnny Bravo become more off his leash of getting trouble in the ladies. Like the one tip I gave you, of course. Like the one tip I did give you. I mean, come on, think about it, Adult Swim. You can make those possibilities become a possibilities. I mean, if you have to, you can make it just, yet again, at least maybe 12% CN shows with, you can still do the 58 or 75% Fox shows, what you normally do, along with the 20% Adult Swim original shows, but at least add in with more freedoms in their revivals to become more adult, more violent, more however, depending on the shows are, of course, put them a more adult feel into them, make them more like of an adult-like way of showing the show, of course. You can make that at least 20% or maybe 12% CN shows, of course. Like, for example, Samurai Jack is on like a 2% CN show level, of course. I mean, maybe you can do the same thing for the shows, even if it means adding a tiny bit more, like maybe 5% CN shows or maybe 10% CN shows, any of those kind, of course, if you're okay with that, at least Adult Swim. I mean, come on. Just because they're made for kids doesn't mean, I mean, truth be told, if you heard of the backstory about Cartoon Network back then, okay, there's something that you could at least understand about Cartoon Network back then. Clearly, there's some adult humor and a tiny bit of odd, weird, disgusting humor on some CN shows if you haven't noticed. Like, for example, they show most or some adult qualities in the back then in the CN shows they did back then. If you haven't noticed that, Adult Swim. I mean, if you have, at least look into the shows, the past shows, a little bit more if you have to, of course. And you'll see the reasons why we're asking those freedoms. Because if you look at Cartoon Network long enough, basically the ones in the past, you'll know why they could at least deserve some revival freedoms on Adult Swim. Because if you think about it, Adult Swim, there are some a little bit of odd, disgusting / adult humor in certain shows on Cartoon Network. If you think about it, Adult Swim, just look at them and think about it. And you can just basically logo them in the end of William Street's Productions, along with some CN basically showing themselves as well, of course. Two 2% and 1%, like 2% CN showing logo, and 1% of William Street's logo showing, of course, for some of the episodes, of course. Like, for example, I mean, even if you had to show some disgusting reimagining humor into it, or maybe not that kind of reimagining to it, of course, just maybe depending on the shows, you can think about it, of course. You can put some disgusting and dark, and a bit of dark, and some more adult feel with violence, more violent with more adult quality and adult jokes, dirty adult jokes into them. Like, you can also think about it when you watch more episodes of Cow and Chicken, of course. Like, please take a look at Cow and Chicken, because it deserves to have a good revival if you think about it. Because, okay, Cow and Chicken is always about the dirty jokes. They show a lot of dirty jokes that went over their heads as a kid that adults notice that they feel like they shouldn't watch it to their children, of course. I mean, Cow and Chicken showed a whole bunch of dirty jokes back then, of course. You can make the jokes on Adult Swim for Cow and Chicken more dirtier than they ever are before. And you can also make them more, well, basically, depending on what they normally show in the show. And don't forget about the Red Devil. I was told by many people that his way of showing dirtiness is off the chain hilarious. And if you think about it, he would work well for you, Adult Swim, if you think about it. I mean, just give it all a more adult feel, even if it means making Cow and Chicken be in their teenage years, showing on what they'll look like in the future, of course. If you think about it, you can give those things more freedoms. Please do think about it, Adult Swim. Please do. And see the reason why you should put them in an Adult Swim, of course, for a CN revival, of course, made for the adults, if you think about it. I mean, if you think about it, please do. Because if you have to, you can make this just 12% CN shows, along with the 75% Fox shows, and 25% Adult Swim original shows, how you normally do it. If you think about it, Adult Swim, please do. Along with putting them on HBO Max with adult quality, with adult logo showing for a more mature audience, if you think about it. That's all I ask. That's all what some people like me ask. Please do think about it. Please do. So yeah, what you guys must know is that we just hope this comes to Adult Swim, because after putting all that detail I asked to Adult Swim, they might see the videos we show, they might not, who knows. We just hope, let's just believe and hope they do at least do, of course. Because if they can respond to Twitter questions like normal people, let's hope they look at videos like normal people as well, because let's just hope so, because we would love for them to do so, of course. So let me know down in the comments down below what you think about this whole idea, and I will put these links down in the description down below for you to see, and see how well of a good idea you think it will be, because I would love to hear your personal opinions about this too, and hope we see these things on Adult Swim and become... So I will make more news like this in the future. Maybe so, maybe not, maybe one time in the future. Bye, everybody.